Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Happy February to you all. It's already February. Can you believe it? I can't. I can't believe it's already February. January went by this quick. It was a good month. It was a good month of Roma. It was a good month of action. Won the derby, got the playoffs, secured the playoffs. So I'm not complaining when it comes to January. Hopefully February will be as successful, if not more. Starting February with a game which is arguably one of the hardest games of the season against Napoli, who are first, a very confident Napoli side, who are on an unbeaten streak. They've beat Juventus, they've beat Atalanta and in Bergamo. They're living life. And despite having sold Kvaratskhelia, I think that the purchase, or should I say, this thing of selling Kvaratskhelia, I would argue that it has united the lot even more. And this is one of the things which I want to speak about when analysing them, when analysing the Conte effect, which I think is the reason as to why Napoli, I'm not going to say clear favourites, because I still think Inter play better football. I still think Inter are a better side. I still think Inter know the player, they know each other so well. They've been playing like this. They've been following this path for the past 3 years. They reached the Champions League final with these players. So I definitely still think Inter is the team that will lift it. But Napoli have got big chances. And I think the chances that Napoli have all derive from their manager, all derive from the fact that they only play once a week. A good team, yes. But a team which I think in any other league would not dominate. And I'm not saying that Napoli are dominant. Napoli are winning games, but what I'm trying to say here is, if Napoli would be playing in the Champions League and would be still be playing in the Coppa Italia if they hadn't been thrown out by Lazio, Napoli don't give me treble vibes. That there are teams around Europe who are first in leagues and in competitions which give me treble vibes, dominant sides. I'll give you another example. Spalletti's Napoli in 2023. That is what I call a dominant side. I still think, Napoli are a great side, could win the league title, but I see them flop once in a while. I see them slip away, and maybe this could be the game that they slip, that they lose a few chances of lifting the title, and that they stop their unbeaten streak in Rome against us at the Stadio Olimpico. So, the first question to you all is, who is going to lift it? Is it going to be Lazio? Ha, they wish. Napoli or Inter, who is going to win the Serie A this season? I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough. But look, let's speak about this game. Very complicated game. Of course, Napoli, we know about them. Us, predicted 11. We've got Milan in the Coppa Italia on Wednesday. So are we preparing this game also looking at Wednesday's game, which is a very important game because we need to try and go further in the Coppa Italia, especially because you're facing Milan, which is living an absolute mess of a season, even worse than you, in my opinion. And yeah, right, let's speak about this. I'll give you my prediction. I know that a lot of people who bet want to know my prediction because I'm quite good at them. So I'm going to give you my prediction after my analysis and everything. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this. Right. Napoli, they've got their best formation. They don't have any injuries. Oh yeah, they do have one injury. One player who's in doubt for this game, who's a very big player, one of their best players. Buongiorno in defense is in doubt for this game. He's been injured for the past month. He was back training with the group this week, but according to some sources, he's not fit and won't start this game. And I think that is already a massive difference because Napoli with Buongiorno in defense has got a very organized defense. Napoli with Juan Jesus in defense does not have a very organized defense. So I already think that Buongiorno playing or not, it's more of a no than a yes, can be a good point for us to enter the game in. Other than that, they've got the best players on the pitch. They have Lukaku, of course, McTominay. I'm in love with McTominay. when I was speaking about old school type players, old style, old fashion, different aura type players, Scott McTominay is one of them. I think he's great. I think he's the perfect player for Napoli and the Napoli environment as well. I think he knows how to present himself also as a character point of view to the fan base, and I think that's very important in modern football, a football which is year after year developing even more onto social media and stuff. A player who can present himself as a funny character, as a different type of aura character. I like these players, and McTominay is a great player. And I think the way Conte uses McTominay is a masterpiece. I think he's unlocked the best version of McTominay. Because number one, I think this is the perfect league for a player like McTominay who likes fighting, being a very tactical league, being a very close duels, one-on-ones, fights on the pitch and everything. McTominay with that Scottish vibe and with that Scottish air likes this league and plays very well in it. But the way Conte uses him is perfect because he basically uses McTominay as a second striker, as a false nine. He uses him as an everywhere on the pitch type player. But in situations where they need to try and score goals, McTominay is always behind Lukaku, ready to headbutt it in. Great at entering the box. I think Conte has unlocked the best version of McTominay because he's understood how to use him. They've got the players which I like the most about them are of course Lukaku can always change you games, and we know this. He can always score those tap-ins. He scored against us a few months ago when we faced them. Neres, I really like Neres. And, of course, Buongiorno, McTominay, and who do they have? Politano. Politano's also a good player. Anguissa is having a great season. He's scoring basically in every game. Every game that I tune in to watch Napoli, Anguissa scores. Dominant midfielder. The word I describe Napoli is physical. And it's a word that I use to describe many teams because more and more these days you see physical teams. Napoli are the most physical team in the league because when you've got Lukaku up front, Buongiorno in defense, and Anguissa in the middle, you can't not be physical. He's a great player and they're a great whole, and people will say, well, look, they sold Kvaratskhelia, who was their best player. Don't you think they've weakened themselves? I think on a technical point of view, they have, because they've lost an incredibly technical player and they haven't replaced him yet. And even if they are going to replace him, apparently they're going to replace him with who? Saint Maximin, Fabrizio says, who's not half as good as Kvaratskhelia. Conte said this very clear. If I need to spend Kvaratskelia's money to get a second line player, I'm not going to spend it. We need dominant players, which is why Conte wanted Garnacho, and then due to complications and stuff, Garnacho didn't happen. But I think it's interesting because I think on a technical point of view, they have weakened themselves selling Kvaratskhelia. But on a psychological point of view, I actually think they've reinforced themselves. And I'll tell you why. Because Conte works on this. Conte works on mindset. And I think the reason why Napoli are first in the league table is because Conte has entered in the minds of these players. Conte has told them, we've got one game per week. We got humiliated by Lazio in the Coppa Italia. We did not care about the Coppa Italia. We only have one tournament and we only have one objective to look at. Every single game, we don't have many games this season because we only play in one tournament. So every single game, every single minute, in every single game, I need you to be physical. I need you to fight because that is our only objective this season. And I think, we know Conte. Conte's tenacious. Conte's a manager which complains if things go wrong. He's never happy. He always complains. He always asks more. We know Conte. Conte is a winning mentality coach because he enters in the mindset of these players. and makes the players reflect his personality. I see Conte as Mourinho. I think Conte and Mourinho are very similar managers on a mentality point of view. Do you remember Mourinho? We know who Mourinho is. Very similar person to Conte. When Mourinho was our manager, Mourinho entered in the minds of these players, starting fights in every game, getting red cards. Because he wants the starting 11 players on the pitch, but the players around him sitting on the bench as well, to incarnate the feelings of the manager. And I think this is why Napoli could win the league. Because technically, Inter are better. Football style, Inter are better. But they could win it, apart from the fact that they only play one game per week, because of Conte's mindset factor, which I think is very important. And in these games, these games are the games that Conte, on a 96% probability scale, never gets wrong. These are the games that Conte breathes, and these are the games that Conte, since he was a Juventus manager, has never got wrong. Which presents to you a very complicated game. Against a team which is first, but remember, Inter have one game less because of the Bove incident in the Fiorentina game. So technically, if Inter win their games in hand, it could be on equal points. So they're first, but technically they could not be first. They want to win the league, and they know that if they also win in Rome against Roma, they're starting to put one foot inside the league table, inside the League Cup. So this game is vital for them. And then, coming to us, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you and say that I see Roma stopping Napoli tomorrow. I see a team which is back being a team. And I would actually argue that at time of speaking, tomorrow's the 2nd of February, for Napoli, an away game at the Olimpico against Roma is one of the toughest games that they would want to play. Because I think the players in our team have understood, yes, but are coming towards a reality which says that at home, I'm unbeaten. Ranieri came in, lost the game against Napoli 2 days after he came in. Nobody expected us to win that game. Travelled to London and got a reaction draw to start planting the seeds. The real because this is not a project. The real rebirth with Ranieri on the bench started that Monday that we played Atalanta at home. And this rebirth journey started with a defeat. But in that game, I saw a team which for 60 minutes dominated Atalanta. And Atalanta back then was was a very unformed team. They were first in the league table back when we faced them. So Ranieri's rebirth journey, cure journey, medicine journey, started with a defeat against Atalanta in a game that for 60 minutes we played good. But we weren't able to, capitulate on the 90 minutes and continue the performance over the span of the entire game because it was the start of this rebirth. After that game, we've never lost at home. And adding on to that, we only won at home. So I think, these players now know that at home there is certainty. These players now know that at home things have changed. That the fans don't boo you anymore. Unless you're a fake occasional fan, as I said yesterday. The fans don't boo you anymore. The stadium is back sold out. And these players mentally know that at home they could win against anybody. So I think on Napoli's point of view, at time of speaking, an away game at the Olimpico is not a game that they would want. Because they know that Roma is on an increase in terms of fitness, in terms of form, in terms of momentum, and in terms of confidence. And I would actually be honest with you and say, I see us stopping them tomorrow. Now again, that doesn't mean that I see us win tomorrow. But I see a draw tomorrow. I see a game where Roma knows their capabilities. Where Roma is at home knowing that this is the chance to show the world that they are back climbing positions. And what best way to do it than stopping a team which is coming from 8 consecutive wins. In these wins, they beat, Juventus and Atalanta, which got the confidence and their league title hopes at a peak. So I would not be confident on Napoli tomorrow. I would not bet my money on a Napoli win tomorrow. I think it's going to be an equal game. I think tomorrow's game ends 1-1. I think tomorrow's game is the classic game where adding on to this, we've never drawn a game this season at the Olimpico. We never drew a game at home this season. Tomorrow, I see a draw. Tomorrow, in my opinion, there could be the first draw at home in front of our fans. We need to try and win. But of course, Napoli will also try and win, and Napoli will want to win. And, Napoli are, of course, if there's a favourite, if the game can't end as a draw, then I would say that Napoli would have the higher chances of winning. But I would not fully guarantee, first of all, a dominant performance from Napoli, something that they did against Atalanta and Juventus. But I wouldn't guarantee a win for Napoli in general. I think it's going to be a close one. And I think Ranieri knows how to prepare these games. Remember, when Ranieri came in 2 days after he was appointed, for 70 minutes in Naples, we were head to head. Head to head with Napoli. Then a lucky mistake from Angelino and a Lukaku lucky goal won them the game. But Ranieri knows how to play these games. Ranieri knows how to defend itself and ultimately try and counterattack. Buongiorno's not in defense tomorrow, so I take my chances tomorrow. I think I take our chances tomorrow. I think I'm gonna throw it out there. I don't think we'll lose. Yes, I'm confident. I don't think we'll lose tomorrow. I think unbeaten in 2020, unbeaten in the league for quite a few games. This is a game that a draw would be very handy in terms of acting as a bridge. Because a draw would not demoralize you, but a draw wouldn't also overhype your expectations. So a draw would not be bad. Of course, a draw seeing our position is useless, but you get the point. I see a very close game. I don't see many goals. These games. I see a 1-0, 1-1, 0-1 type game, maybe a 2-1, 1-1, 1-2 type game. Very close, head to head, fight after fight, one-on-ones after one-on-ones. And my predicted 11 here is this. Now, look, that's my predicted 11. And I don't think we're going to change much because this is a game that, yes, you've got Milan on Wednesday, but, Napoli at home is a game that you want to win also for the fans and also for your mental state, for your fitness. So as much as I would allow some rotations, I think Wednesday's game against Milan is more important than this one. I do. But I think it's such a big game. The rivalry is big. That I think our starting 11 will start. Angelo Mangiante has literally tweeted about an hour ago that Roma's transfer window is basically done and that only one more defender will come in to replace Hermoso, and then that's it. So the Angelo Mangiante has confirmed that Shimarodo will stay, that Sule will stay, and that Paredes will stay. And that the only player that Roma will try and add in these 48 hours is a new defender to replace Hermoso. Not a good transfer window. I'd rate this transfer window a 3, if not a 2. Disgusting transfer window. Because if you added players in this transfer window, then you could have allowed yourself for more reasonable rotations, for more logical rotations. And we decided not to spend money. We only decided to spend money to add a right back and a defender, according to Mangiante, but that defender still hasn't come. So I'm not putting my hand on fire that he will come. I expected more. I expected more because you will get to that stage of the season where this exact starting formation will get knackered. And whenever you restart with this starting formation, you will have 11 zombies on the pitch. But again, I'm not going to complain today. I complained yesterday. If you want to hear my rant, make sure to watch yesterday's live stream. We're victims of the arrogance of our board. We're victims of the unwillingness to spend of our board. Or if they do spend, they spend it on useless signings. Ranieri will need to work miracles. These players will need to work miracles because this starting 11 is our best starting 11. But it's a very restricted one. You know, the second our second lines start coming in, and the second we allow for more rotations, we will start losing games. But we knew about this in September. You know, look at Atalanta. Lookman got injured on Tuesday before the game against Barcelona. Lookman will be out for 1 month. In 24 hours, Atalanta placed the bid, secured the bid, and got Daniel Maldini done. There are levels of competence in other football clubs that don't belong to us. If you want to spend money, if you want to improve your football club, then it's modern football. You have to put the cash in. I wasn't expecting God knows who, but I was expecting strategic signings. Not very expensive signings, but signings that can come in and give Hummels a breather whenever he's too knackered to play a game, or can give Manu Kone a rest. William Bondo from Monza, 30 million, he would have been in your side. He can give Manu Kone a rest. He can give Paredes a rest. So, look, Angelino doesn't have a replacement. We've played 6 months of football and we'll play for another 5 months of football with Angelino as our only left back, because Dal is not even included in the UEFA list. So if Angelino gets injured, what happens in the Europa League? Again, you get the point. There's no need of me complaining because I've complained too much. But hopefully we can get a result tomorrow, and hopefully a result can come very handy tomorrow. I think we will win this match with ease, but in the other hand, we'll definitely need reinforcements for the Coppa Italia. Says Kahan, happy Saturday. Gabriel, to you too. Sule deserves a start. I think that Napoli will win the title, even if they drop points tomorrow. The 1 game a week is a huge advantage. Yeah, look, it's a 50-50. I still put Inter a bit further just because I think they're a better side. But it's very close. And look, I don't want Napoli to win the league, because if Napoli get more league titles than us, then they would become the first team of the center-south of Italy, you know? And we don't need that. We don't want that. So I want Inter to win the league at all costs. And tripping on Napoli tomorrow, of course, I'm all up for it. I don't like Napoli. I think Napoli, because they have the Conte. The Conte is one of the best Serie A coaches of all time, in my opinion, says Stefan. Conte has Napoli playing superbly. Lukaku's been superb. The wingers are in top form, and the midfield is the best in the Serie A at the moment. I can't see them dropping many points. And Gisa is their best player indeed. You see Zaniolo's going to Fiorentina. You know what it means. He'll play at the Olimpico again. Oh God, yeah. Forgot about that. Roma can beat current Madrid at home. I want to see Baldanzi tomorrow. Hey Simo, imagine Lazio in the Coppa Italia, Europa League and Serie A. I don't want that. I'm fine with one between the Coppa Italia or the Europa League, but not both. Not both. Like, no. Like, imagine 5 derbies in the space of a month. No, please no. Imagine Bisek for 30 million, best young centre back. Apparently Dallin Chilik might leave too. Yeah, I read about Chilik. I think there's no need to sell these players if you're not going to replace them. You might as well just keep them. You know, why am I... There's only a sense behind giving Chilik away if you're going to replace him. And people will say, well, you've replaced him with Wrench. And I agree, but then we're back, we're back where we were. You've got only one. I think these players need to go, but these players are players which you need to go only if you're going to step it up. It doesn't make sense to just get rid of everyone and keep it like this. You're automatically weakening yourself. If you've decided that you're not going to spend money, then you should also decide not to let anyone else leave. Because, yeah. Can you speak Italian? Yes, I am Italian, mate. What do you think about Mancini ever titular? Is it the right thing? It could be a titular, someone like Hermoso. Well, Hermoso's left, so can't be starting anymore. So yeah, Mancini needs to start. Right, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. I'll be at the stadium tomorrow, so yeah. Stay tuned. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell notification button on so you'll be notified every time I go live or post a video. And thank you very much for 14.5k subs. And yeah, enjoy your Saturday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. See you out.